My name is Ariana Taylor, Taylor.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I just want to take a moment to speak from the heart about Jonas. He's not only my boyfriend, he's the father of our beautiful 1-year-old daughter, Milani, and he truly means everything to us. From the moment we found out we were expecting, he was filled with excitement and pride. He's always wanted to be the kind of father who's present, loving, and hands-on, someone Milani can always count on. Even through hard times, that love for her has never faded. Milani lights up the moment she sees him. The way her face glows and her arms reach for him says everything about their bond. Jonas is gentle, patient, and kind. He has such a big heart. Over time, I've watched him grow into a better man, more responsible, more grounded, and more focused on family. He's learned from his past, and now all he wants is to give his daughter the life she deserves, to be the father she can be proud of. Your Honor, people always say it takes a village to raise a child, but for me, he's the only village I have. I don't have a big family or a lot of help, but with him, I have everything. I have everything I need. He's my partner, my support system, and the one person who stands beside me through every challenge. We share the same dream to raise Milani with love, stability, and strong family values. Milani needs her dad. She needs that love, that guidance, and that connection only he can give her. And I need him too, not just as my partner, but as my teammate in life and in parenting. Together we make each other stronger, and we make her world complete. Jonas has so much love to give. He's kind, caring, and trying every day to be the best version of himself. For me, for Milani, and for our future together. I truly believe in him, and I'm asking you, Judge, if you could too. Thank you, Your Honor, for letting me speak and for allowing me to share who Jonas really is. A loving father, a devoted partner, and a man with a good heart who just wants to be there for his family.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Aaron Ladson. I'm Dwayne's Jonas' stepfather.
Can you spell your last name, please?
Ladson.
Thank you.
Right. I met Dwayne years ago, but I met his mother years ago when Dwayne was a young child. I married her, been married for 31 years. I've watched Dwayne grow into this man as I've grown to love. But as a father, he's been for the last 14 months, he's been a great example of what a father needs to be. Decision making has always been a problem. So we hope that you can be lenient and understand that he's a great guy, he's a great man, he's a great father.
Thank you. You can just stand right there, wherever you're comfortable. Okay.
Your Honor, I would like to say, first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak on the behalf of my grandson.
What's your name, ma'am?
My name is Matty, Cartwright, Cartwright.
Thank you.
I'm not the one to say a whole lot of words, but my grandson, he is kind. My grandson to me is very truthful because, and I'm going to give you an example. He needed some money and he said, I'll pay you back, whatever date that was. He brought the money to me, but as a grandparent, I didn't want it because it was a pleasure giving it to him. He loved his daughter, Milani. Ever since that baby came into this world, it has made a great, great difference in his life. This young man I've seen change into a real man. All he wants to do is to support his baby. He loves her, she loves him. And as we see society, too many babies are being separated from their fathers. A daughter needs her dad. I'm pleading, if any way that you could understand the feeling, please, Your Honor, I thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
How you doing? My name is Jalen Thomas. I'm I'm going to read this character statement I wrote for Jonas. I'm writing on behalf of Jonas Thompson, whom I've known since 2022. Myself, I'm an elementary school teacher for 5th and 6th grade, and I'm the godfather of Jonas's daughter, Melanie. Her mother, Ariana, has been one of my closest friends since 7th grade and has given me the opportunity to know Jonas well as both a father and as a man of character. Jonas is hardworking and deeply committed to his family. He maintains employment, working in kitchens, doing yard work, and taking on whatever honest work is needed to provide for his loved ones. More importantly, I have witnessed his dedication as a father. He watches Melanie while Ariana works and chooses to stay home with his daughter over going out with friends, and consistently puts his family first. His presence provides both financial support and emotional stability to those who depend on him. Since returning home, Jonas has actively worked to make better choices and be a responsible member of his community. As an educator who works with young people daily, I understand the power of second chances. People aren't defined by their worst moments, but by their growth and willingness to do better. I don't minimize the seriousness of his actions, but I firmly believe a mistake does not reflect his true character. Further incarceration would devastate his family, especially Melanie, who needs her father during these crucial years. As a teacher, I see how daily parental absence affects children. Melanie deserves her father, and Jonas deserves a chance to continue being the positive force his family needs. I faithfully ask that the court show mercy in sentencing, and I'm confident Jonas will continue to be a productive member of society and a devoted father. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Stan? Stan, why don't you go over there and get that microphone, so
My name
get that when it's
is
done. Go ahead, sir.
Pastor Vernon Cartwright. I'm retired. One of the greatest hurt that I see at this moment is that the vein is separated from the daughter he loves. I know this hurt him to his heart. And I am saddened by the many of our young people who are growing up without a father in the home. I look at this situation, yes, he made a mistake, but I believe there is room in his life to mature and grow. As a believer in God who is able to forgive us for our sins, and I pray that this court will look at this young man, realize his youth, his ability, and his mental capacity to grow. We need to give him leniency right now, as God will forgive us many, many times, give us grace, and he's merciful. His daughter loves her father, and the father loves the daughter. May this court be leniency on him as you make the final decision.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Thompson, you have the right to address this court before your sentence. You can say anything you'd like. Is there anything you'd like to say at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
The date of this incident, I was getting off work, picking my daughter up so we could go home. And Wycliffe police attempted to pull me over on the 250 and Babbitt exit, which is a high accident area. When exiting the freeway, as you're getting off the freeway, other vehicles are speeding, trying to merge to get onto the freeway, so I did not stop. And with me not stopping right away, I was cut off by Euclid police where I then stopped. I accept the responsibility that I didn't stop, and I know I should have stopped when I was supposed to stop. I did not harm anyone. I did not attempt to harm anyone. My vehicle was searched. There was no drugs, no weapons, and I wasn't in no shape or form under the influence. So I had no reason to flee, Your Honor. I had completed a 6-month IOP program after my last situation, and it was not court appointed. Since my daughter was born, I have completed a 2-month anger management class that was not court appointed. I did this to better myself as a person. Earlier this year, I started my own lawn and detailing business, which I am very good at. I also have a full-time job working at Scramblers in Mayfield Heights, 6 days a week. Every day I get off work, I immediately pick up my daughter and we go home, and I repeat this every day. I want to say thank you to my family and friends, and I'm very grateful for y'all's support. And I want to apologize for having y'all to stop y'all day and coming to see me like this. And to my attorney, thank you for your advice you've given me and representing me correctly. And to you, Your Honor, and prosecutor, I take responsibility for my actions, and next time I know I should just stop when the lights are a signal and ask, can I pull over somewhere safe? I'm a hard-working man. I just had my first and only child, which is the best thing that happened to me. I have a ton of responsibilities to attend to. I'm not out here on no foolishness or no bad intent. It is the holidays, and my grandmother is in town. I haven't seen her in over a year. With that being said, I am asking for consideration, getting a chance on probation, and I can promise you will not see me in front of you again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. Ms. Novotny, anything else on behalf of the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Bell for the State of Ohio.
Thank you, Your Honor. I had the opportunity to review the pre-sentence report in this case, and the state is troubled by various things. First and foremost, the defendant has 3 separate prison numbers, most recently getting out in 2023. The defendant also has a history of probation violations, and he violated his bond in this case, testing positive for cocaine twice. And just by nature of the charge itself, failure to comply, that's not complying with the rules. The state cannot say that he'd be a good candidate for community control. And also, Mr. Thompson did mention that he had no reason not to stop. The police searched his vehicle, and just so we have a clear picture, the police searched his vehicle and found an open container of alcohol. And he was cited at that time for not having a valid license. So that might be a reason that one wouldn't stop. But with all that being said, the state would recommend prison in this case. Thank you.
Thank you. This court reviewed the pre-sentence report and investigation. These are the facts and circumstances of the offense involved, the nature of the offense involved. I received several letters in support of the defendant. I've read and considered all of those. I've considered everything that's been said here in open court today by the family members that have spoken on his behalf, by the defendant himself, his lawyer, the prosecutor, the recommendations from everyone. All this is considered in light of the purposes and principles of felony sentencing set forth in 29-29-11. As for the factors in 29-29-12, nothing stands out factually in that section, indicating it's more or less serious. However, the court does note that the defendant had his 14-month-old daughter in the car at the time he has committed this offense, which certainly makes this much more serious than normal. You talk about you were trying to find a safe place because your daughter was in the car, but yet you get involved in a car chase with police with your 14-month-old in the car. That doesn't make any sense. In regards to the recidivism factors, the court finds the defendant has an extensive criminal history. The record goes back 20 years. When the defendant was a juvenile, so there's juvenile delinquency adjudications. The adult record starts 18 years ago with a robbery charge with a gun, where he went to prison. Along with drug trafficking charges. Got out of prison, and there's more criminal offenses. He's put on probation. He violated his probation, so he's not complied with previously imposed sanctions ordered by courts. Multiple probation violations. I was convicted of domestic violence, went to prison for that. Got out. A few years later, committed an attempted felonious assault, went back to prison. Just got out in April of 23, and now we're back here again 2 years later. So 3 prior prison terms. He's not complied with previously imposed sanctions ordered by courts. There's no genuine remorse in regards to the commission of this offense. He actually doesn't believe he even committed this offense. When he talked to probation, doesn't believe he did anything wrong. Says just a misunderstanding and crazy. believes he's innocent. So he had no reason to flee, but as the prosecutor noted, you're driving without a license. You got open containers in the car, tequila and something else. Those are reasons to flee and not get caught, because you're going to get in trouble if you do stop. If you get stopped, you have no license, you're going to get in trouble. Which, another factor here making recidivism more likely is that you continue to drive. You got another conviction for DUS while you were out on bond in this court. This offense occurred in May, and in July you picked up and were convicted of a DUS. You're not even supposed to be driving. You're on bond for fleeing and eluding, and you continue driving and got another conviction. So I'm not sure what was learned. Another factor indicating recidivism is more likely is the fact that you violated your bond by testing positive for cocaine, not once but twice. 2 separate tests. 2 separate times. No factors indicate recidivism is less likely. Under 2913B1, the court again finds the defendant has previously served prison terms. That overrides any presumption for probation. Prison is consistent with the purposes and principles of sentencing. And there's no way with this history here that this court could find the defendant's amenable to community control sanctions. Therefore, it is a sentence to this court that on count 1, the defendant served a term in prison of 12 months. He'll be given credit for 23 days he's already served. I need to advise you upon your release from prison, you may be placed on post-release control for up to 2 years. If you are and you violate any of those conditions, the parole authority can return you to prison as punishment for violating their rules for another 6 months, the maximum being 50% of the term imposed. Any additional prison term imposed for violating post-release control is being imposed as part of the sentence at this time. The court disapproves the defendant's placement in a program of shock incarceration, intensive prison program, or transfer to transitional control. Defendant's ordered the penalty costs incurred in this action. Counts 2 and 3 will be dismissed. There's a mandatory license suspension that I'm required to impose of at minimum of 3 years up to your life. I will impose a minimum of 3 year suspension, and I will release bond. I'm not revoking or forfeiting bond. I think that covers everything. Ms. Bell, is there anything else we need to address?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Multiple family members begged for leniency, but the judge focused on the defendant's long record, probation violations, cocaine positives, and the police chase with his child in the car. Community control was denied, and a 12-month prison term with license suspension was imposed.